Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. We're in sunny Mexico. We're down here in Puerto Vallarta, and this is a great turnout for the International Symposium on Fish Nutrition and Feeding. It's great to be here. There's 350 odd people that have made the journey to this part of Mexico on the coast, and we've had a very enjoyable first 3 days, haven't we, Philip?
Yeah, it's been a brilliant couple of days. Great location, great weather, brilliant talks and content. So yeah, it's been fantastic so far.
And I'm here talking to Philip Lyons. I'm sure you'll recognise him. He's from Alltech. He's now based in Ireland, but has until recently been in Europe, and is now head of aquaculture globally for the company. Philip, tell us a little bit about your background first of all.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Irish to start off with. I'm crazy about fish nutrition, all things marine. I think that really kind of got me into the area of aquaculture and fish nutrition. So I studied in Galway Mayo Institute of Technology in Ireland for my undergraduate in applied freshwater and marine biology. And then I moved over to University of Stirling in Scotland to study for my master's and PhD in fish nutrition. And all of that finished up just around the time that Alltech moved into the aquafeed sector in a meaningful way through the acquisition of Coppens International in the Netherlands at that time. So I moved over there as soon as my PhD was finished and joined the research team over there. And since then, so I spent 5 years over there, but after about 3 of those years, then I took on the position of Global Manager of Aquaculture Research for the group at large. So my responsibilities are really to coordinate, organize, and execute all of our R&D when it comes to aquaculture, whether that's on the feed side of the business or the additive side of the business globally within the company.
And you were saying just briefly before that you have 2 PhD projects going on?
That's right. We put a lot of stock in sort of the connection between academia and industry within the company, and that's been something that's happened throughout the history of Alltech in the 40 years of the company or so. So a lot of what we do is really try to connect academia and industry with topics that are interesting to us but are also interesting to the student, and to really keep those topics applied and that are really industry focused topics that can move the needle within the industry and within fish feed formulation. So we have 2 big PhD projects at the moment. One is with the University of Wageningen in the Netherlands, because there's a very strong connection between Coppens, let's say Alltech Coppens and Wageningen being in the Netherlands. And the second one is with the University of Stirling. So those projects are looking at net energy formulation for trout feed, and also life cycle assessment of the full aquaculture value chain for 2 species that are very interesting to us. So that's rainbow trout and African catfish.
Yeah. And being in Mexico now with the ISFNF, can you connect what you're doing in those projects along with what we've heard over the first 3 days here?
Absolutely, 100%. I think the big themes that we've heard in this conference, for example, are really about the circularity of fish feed, increasing the use of byproducts within different formulations, and really connecting the public understanding to how byproducts sound. The word sounds bad, but actually what it is it's just nutrients that we can use in the most sustainable way within feeds. I think that's a big thing that needs to be sort of communicated to also the wider public, is that we're formulating the most sustainable way and the most flexible way with the biggest amount of nutrients we have, not just singular raw materials, but really on a nutrient basis.
And that's quite exciting. We've had multiple presentations around sustainability, circular economy, and it's not just a buzzword, it's actually the industry taking action, isn't it?
Yeah, I really think what's happened in the last sort of 5-10 years is there's always been a lot of talk about sustainability, that everybody is using, like you say, it's a buzzword and everybody's talking about it, but what we're seeing now is that there are more and more projects that are really measuring sustainability, and that's what we need for the future to be able to be as flexible as possible when we're formulating diets for this massive diversity of fish species that we have, but in the most sustainable way, and we're able to measure it within feed formulation software, you know, and that can then also be connected to the farm level, so that you then start to measure how sustainable the entire value chain is being. And I think that's a huge step forward for the industry at large, and so that's why it's so great that there's so many talks that are focused on that on that project.
And just you mentioned it about consumers or about the wider public understanding what we're doing.
Yep.
Do you think that message is getting across now?
I think it's taking time, to be honest. I mean, it's also very complex because different parts of the world will view it in a different way. You know, different sectors will view sustainability or the use of byproducts in a different way. But I think the message is getting through slowly but surely that what we're doing is actually just trying to help the health of the fish in the most sustainable way, instead of wasting nutrients that would otherwise be gone to landfill or wherever that they would be used for. And so that I think that message is slowly getting through, and it will take time, but it is complicated by different sectors and cultures, etc.
In just a personal view, what do you think we have to do to engage more with consumers on this level?
I think, communicating more how we actually, how we formulate diets is very, very important. Also, communicating with retailers is obviously extremely important, the final retailer, so that they're understanding exactly what's going into the feed, and sort of getting that connection between the final consumer, the retailer, and farmers and feed formulators. Improving that communication line is what's needed. How we get that message out there, I think, is not just through scientific papers, but it's also having people who can communicate that science in the best possible way, you know, so that there is no blurred lines, that it is just clear what exactly we're doing and why we're doing it. It's for the health of the animals. So.
Yeah. Well, Philip, thank you very much for your time just
Thank
now.
you.
And I'd like to remind our viewers out there that Philip is, Dr. Lyons is part of our editorial board, and we will be seeing more of him in the magazine. So his views and his approach to the science, research around aquaculture will be reflected in our magazine. So keep viewing and keep reading. But thank you very much, Dr. Lyons.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.